Hi, folks. Sean from Arrowhead here. I have been getting some really interesting comments back from some of the recent videos we've been doing about connecting with your people and really trying to create a channel, a line of communications with your people right now in this difficult time. And the main question that's coming back from so many leaders that I'm talking to right now is, well, what do I say? What could I possibly say in this moment that will be a help for them? And my answer to that is, it might be surprising to you, and that is, you don't actually have to say anything. That's the genius of this moment. You don't have to say anything. In fact, you probably shouldn't. Instead, what you should be doing is creating space for your people to share and offload something that they've been carrying on their own shoulders. Create a presence for them, create some space for them to simply be vulnerable, to simply share something that's been weighing them down. And you just have to receive it. So, how do we do that? Well, there's three ways that specifically three strategies that you can be employing to help take some of that burden off of your employees and create that space that they desperately need right now to offload some of this burden they're carrying. The first strategy is to listen. Probably obvious, right? Well, what is that? Well, it probably starts first by asking a question: how's it going? But instead of rushing to fill the silence that often inevitably follows that question, just stop, just wait, and maybe there'll be some silence, but let that silence sit there. And when you do that, you're actually inviting your employee or your colleague to step into that space and share something. But don't be afraid of that space. Let it sit there. Even if they choose not to after a few seconds of waiting, even if they choose not to really step in, or if they say, you know what, I really don't feel like talking about that right now. Can we talk about work stuff? That's okay, because even in the gesture that you've put forward of inviting them to be vulnerable in that moment, you've given them a gift that they otherwise wouldn't have had. So listening is an extraordinarily powerful first strategy. The second is acknowledging. So let's say that one of your employees, when you say, how's it going? They respond with, oh my gosh, my family life is in a shambles right now. The kids are bored and running around like crazy, and my family's fighting with each other, and it's very stressful. Acknowledging is simply to say, oh, that does sound really difficult. If I hear you correctly, what you're saying is, this is a really difficult time for your family. It sounds like that you're having a real tough time just keeping everything in balance. Am I right? That's acknowledging, and it's a powerful tool to let your people know that you've heard them. That after you've created that space for them to bring forward whatever burden they're carrying, you've given them another gift, which is, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you were trying to communicate and that burden that you're trying to share with me. The third strategy is validating. And that's simply as simple as something like, oh wow, it does sound like you're having a tough time with the family. You know what? That is totally understandable given how crazy this time is. Have we ever experienced something like this in our lives? It is totally understandable. It makes perfect sense that your family life would be in a bit of disarray right now and that you'd be feeling some stress because of that. When we validate, when we say to our people, what you're experiencing right now, that stress you're experiencing, that is totally normal. That is understandable. That is not weird. You're telling them that what they're experiencing is something that they don't have to feel alien about. They don't have to feel like they are the only people experiencing this kind of thing. When we feel that sort of alienation, that isolation, this because of this false belief that we're the only ones going through this right now, that is an extra weight that we each carry. So when an employer, a leader, a team leader, a colleague comes to you and says what you're experiencing is totally normal. It might even be, I'm experiencing it too. But you're simply acknowledging that what they are experiencing is not unusual, that it's normal and it's okay, especially given the strange circumstances we're in. You'd be amazed at how powerful, how much we all need as humans to know that we're not alone in experiencing these difficulties, particularly in these stressful times that we're in right now. So, rather than trying to come up with some genius thing that you can share with your people right now that's going to motivate them and inspire them, why not start by simply making space for them to share some of their vulnerability with you? Give them space to just be who they are with all their stresses, anxieties, worries, fears. Just give them space. And we can do that by listening, acknowledging, and validating. If you do that, I promise you, you're going to experience a level of connection with your people that you probably never thought might even be possible. It's going to improve the way you connect with them professionally and work with them in your work relationships, but it's also going to improve at a much deeper level the personal connection you have with each of the members of your team. So I hope that helps. Try applying that this week, and I'll look forward to talking to you again next week.